With the destruction of rivers of America that's been announced and confirmed by the Walt Disney Company, it seems like Liberty Square is doomed. It does have the Haunted Mansion in it, at least at Magic Kingdom, and a lot of that theming seems to be going in favor of a more New Orleans type zone. And now, of course, the Hall of Presidents is going to have to do some kind of change because the president has changed again. It would seem like an easy switch out, but we've often theorized here that the same company who allegedly designed a Hillary Clinton animatronic and then had to rush to change it into a Donald Trump animatronic, you go look at the pictures and you tell me what you think there. They're now going to have to put Donald Trump front and center or change the way they do the Hall of Presidents. Well, now it seems like the Hall of Presidents is not scheduled for closing, as we often theorized here on this channel. Let's talk about why, and let's talk about what seems like a little bit of a delay on the part of Walt Disney Imagineering here on That Park Place.
So we mentioned Liberty Square and maybe what its fate will eventually be. Well, we actually have an update on one of its signature attractions, and that being, well, the Hall of Presidents. Here we go. From Blog Mickey, the Hall of Presidents currently scheduled to remain open past Inauguration Day, but that will change.
That's interesting.
We've speculated on this, on what might happen with this specific attraction, whether or not they'll keep it around or get rid of it entirely. It seems like they might be inclined to keep it. Let's go ahead and read on.
They will not be able to get away with getting rid of it.
I don't think so. I think a lot of people are anticipating a change here and would be supportive of this attraction staying. It has become a contentious attraction for sure, but the history attached to it, especially the Walt Disney connection, is so profound. It would be in their best interest to maintain an attraction like this, but let's see. Walt Disney World is quickly approaching a change to the Hall of Presidents, but the theme park giant is remaining quiet about its plans for the next iteration of the attraction. Prior to the presidential election, we penned an article speculating about the future of the attraction. In that article, we said that the change is coming to the attraction, but speculation on what kind of change remains as Walt Disney World remains silent. As of right now, the attraction is currently scheduled to remain open past Inauguration Day, but that will likely change. Now, regardless of the outcome of the election, when President-elect Trump won, the Hall of Presidents was forced to change. Once President Biden dropped out of the race, however, change was inevitable. However, we thought the direction of the change was not inevitable. In short, if VP Kamala Harris would have won, we think that Disney would have been forced to create the first ever female animatronic president addition to this historic attraction. That said, we also thought that a Trump election would also allow Disney to pivot for the attraction if they wanted to. That's interesting how that only works one way there.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, that's profound. Trump has already been a part of the Hall of Presidents, and the attraction has become more polarizing, as has politics in America. In our early November article, we speculated that the Muppets could have had a presence in the next version of the attraction. While it has been apparent to theme park observers that Muppet Vision 3D would be closing to make way for Monsters Inc. land, and it has since been confirmed, what was not known at the time of our pre-election speculation was the Muppets would land at Rocket Roller Coaster.
Well, they assuming they would move great moments of history inside.
I suppose, like maybe a show that really took advantage of some of the elements of the previous Muppets history show. Is that a possibility?
Yeah, I guess so. I don't know. And this is from me, who's obviously the biggest Henson fan on the planet. I don't think you can put the Muppets in there. You have to keep it the Hall of Presidents. If you change it now, it's very clear that you are changing it for one reason and one reason alone.
That's a good point. Yeah.
And right now they're trying to win back conservative families who are, who have abandoned them. I can't imagine right now that they're going to go to a place where they're alienating them so much.
You would think so. I would hope that they're getting out of the partisan game and getting back to a more centrist or central middle of the road position in which they don't necessarily pay attention to one side or the other, but just kind of provide entertainment for the masses. If in fact there is a Republican president that happens to be at Pennsylvania Avenue, it's like, okay, well, let's just go ahead and showcase that specific president and do it in a respectful way. And we take the hit from maybe the other side or whatever. It's just, it has been this way for what is it? I think the speaking role for the president has been since the 90s. Is that right, Marvin?
Yes, I want to say that that's correct. Clinton Clinton or HW might have been the first one.
Something like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's strange that we have to have the debate year after year after year about whether or not they keep this attraction updated and so forth. And now people will know that the last time this attraction was updated, well, before Biden, but actually for Trump, well, there was a little bit of delay in getting Trump's debut to the Hall of Presidents presented because, well, the speculation is that Disney was expecting a different outcome for the presidential election and had to pivot quite quickly in order to have the actual election results reflected with this ghastly animatronic version of the 45th president of the United States. Not so good there for sure. Now, eventually, they did actually replace the animatronic with a new version of Trump, as you can see right there, in a non-speaking role as he looks on to Biden in the foreground of that photo right there. But from what I understand, that animatronic wasn't designed to ever speak. So will they have to do something again or make this version speak? What do you think about that, Marv?
Right now, they just kind of have the current president doing the inauguration speech or taking the oath of office. I don't know. I could see a scenario because, and I don't think it would be the worst thing in the world to not have the current president speak, because as politics has gotten more divisive, and now this is going back to the days of George W. Bush, even back to Clinton, people were catcalling Clinton, they were booing Bush, they were booing Obama. You know, like it's always going to be a thing, and it's only getting worse to the point now where they had to remove seats to build a spiked orchestra pit around the stage, and they always have a security guard in there to ensure that nobody tries to get up and deface the animatronics. Now, so I don't know. I don't know what the answer is. I don't think you don't need to have the current president talk, I don't think, but you have to have him there.
You gotta have him there. You gotta have him represented. I do agree with that assessment. And if they were to somehow switch up the show in which you had, nobody speak in terms of the current president, that might be the best solution going forward. We know that might not stick around, though. I would think that even after, let's say, Trump leaves office in 2028 and a new president is elected, if that president happens to be of a certain, I don't know, demographic makeup, let's say, that is maybe something that the Walt Disney Company would like to showcase in one of its attractions like this, I could see them reneging on that. That would be interesting as well. As of right now, the Hall of Presidents attraction is scheduled to remain open into February, but we think that will change. There probably aren't a lot of you out there reading this right now planning a visit to Magic Kingdom specifically for the Hall of Presidents, but if you were, I would plan on the attraction being closed starting January 20th, 2025 for a refurbishment. Next question is, when will the Hall of Presidents open? If Walt Disney opts to reuse the current President Trump animatronic figure and audio recording, the closure could be relatively brief, weeks ahead instead of months.
Can they please just make a new one? Because my goodness.
Yes, they never get them right.
Well, no, because it was very clearly they started making a Hillary Clinton figure and changed midway through to make it a Trump figure. So if Trump looks like a black dude like a black lady in this next one, we'll know that they did it again.
Yeah, exactly. It's wait a minute. I didn't know Trump got that dark a tan there. What is going on? Yes, that will be very interesting. We'll have to see if they do keep the attraction around, which I think they will. I think the Walt Disney Company would have made a bigger announcement by this time if they were getting rid of it entirely. Maybe they pull a King Dakar and just be like, "Hey, we closed it. We didn't even tell anybody." But I doubt they would do that. I think they would come forward with that. What the next version of this attraction will be very interesting to watch. We'll have to really see about the animatronic and whether or not Disney made the same mistake again. That would be funny if they did.
Thanks for watching That Park Plays News. For more information, consider checking out www.thatparkplace.com. And don't forget to subscribe, share, like, and send this out on your favorite social media accounts.